Baruch atah asherah anat melecha ha'olam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav tzivanu lehitativ latzitzit. Excuse me. Good morning, Sapi. Good morning, Aliyah. How are you doing on this day? Should we say some old words together? Would you like that? I would like it. That's why I'm here. A bit nauseous. I'm sorry to hear that. Does that happen often? Words, please. Alright, which ones? These ones? Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta את ענת אלוהיך ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך ובחיו הדברים האלה אשר נוחים מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאהוד על ידיך ובחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך וחיה כי בחיו אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נספה לבתיך לאברהם ישכח וליעקב לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית ובתים מלאים כתובה אשר לא מילאת וברות עצובים אשר לא עשת כערים בזיתים אשר לא נתת והלכת ושבת הישמר לך פן תשלח את יהוה אשר תשלחה מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. The language is Hebrew, Fiji, and we can translate it as Shema Yisrael Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Listen, Israel, Yahweh Eloheinu Yahweh Echad are one. These gods are one. The names, despite their linguistic diversity, all refer back to the same core thing, which is all. All. And you shall love Yahweh Eloheinu with all your heart and all your soul and all your might. And these words that I am speaking to you today, teach them to your children, and recite them when you wake up, as you do, and recite them when you go to bed, and when you are traveling, and when you are at home, and you shall bind them as a symbol on your hand, and let them serve as a sign on your forehead, and inscribe them on the doorposts of your houses, and on your gates. And, don't forget this part, take heed, when Yahweh Eloheinu brings you into the land that he swore to your fathers Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to assign to you, great and flourishing cities that you did not build, houses full of all good things that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant, and you ate your fill. Take heed that you do not forget Yahweh, who freed you from the land of Egypt, the house of bondage. And with that, we will turn now to Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh from a land which is not Egypt, and not Canaan. A witch? A witch, you say? You flatter me. We will shift from ancient Israel to ancient Mesopotamia. Much older is this story, 2,000 years older. And Gilgamesh is on a quest for immortality, because his friend died, and he cannot abide the death of his friend. So he travels under the mountain where the sun goes at night, and he finds himself at a tavern at the end of the world. And the tavern keeper says, "Don't try to do this." And he says, "But I'm going to try to do this." And she says, "Okay, fine. If you're going to do this, go talk to the boat keeper. He will give you passage." And then Gilgamesh goes, attacks the boat keeper because he's Gilgamesh. And the boat keeper's like, "You idiot. You destroyed my magical talismans. How are we going to cross the river of the dead now?" And Gilgamesh is like, "Well, I'm just going to go get some staves and cut them down from the forest nearby, and then I'm just going to throw them into the water very wastefully so that we can get across without the magical talismans." And they reach Utnapishtim, across the river of the dead. And now, finally, after all that, Utnapishtim and Gilgamesh speak. Utnapishtim responds in a long speech. I'm sorry, Ghost. You're right. I said I was going to stream on Thursday, and then I didn't stream on Thursday, and I didn't post on Discord about it. I had another responsibility, and I wasn't able to stream. I was elsewhere. But I'm here now. I'm glad you're here, too. Called out. I've been called out. I had to make money. You're okay with it. Okay, well, I'm glad that I have Sapi's permission and Ghost's forgiveness. Sounds good. I am admonished. Oh, thank you for the heart. Boink. So, Utnapishtim responds with a long speech, poorly known because of damage to the manuscripts. He chides Gilgamesh for his self-pity and ostentatious mourning, all the more unseemly because the gods have favored him. The village idiot, he points out, wears rags and eats bad food, and no one accords him merit for that. After a gap in the text, Utnapishtim is found discoursing on the nature of death. Utnapishtim said to Gilgamesh, "Why, O Gilgamesh, did you prolong woe? You who are formed of the flesh of gods and mankind, you from whom the gods acted like fathers and mothers. When was it, Gilgamesh, you, to a fool? They set a throne for you in the assembly of elders, but the fool is given beer dregs instead of butter, bran and coarse flour instead of, he wears sacking instead of he ties it round himself like a sash of honor, because he has no sense nor reason. He has no good advice. Think on him, Gilgamesh." Ho, ho, ho. No excuses for showing up in rags. You're on a quest. Alright. Sure, you're on a quest. Whatever. You strive ceaselessly. What do you gain? When you wear out your strength in ceaseless striving, when you torture your limbs with pain, you hasten the distant end of your days, mankind whose descendants are snapped off like reeds in a cane brake, the handsome young man, the lovely young woman, death. No one sees death, no one sees the face of death, no one hears the voice of death, but cruel death cuts off mankind. Do we build a house forever? Do we make a home forever? Do brothers divide an inheritance forever? Do disputes prevail in the land forever? Do rivers rise in flood forever? Mesopotamian poetry often refers to reeds to suggest something easily broken and impermanent. Dragonflies drip downstream on a river, their faces staring at the sun. Then suddenly there is nothing. The sleeper and the dead, how alike they are. They limn not death's image. No one dead has ever greeted a human in this world. The supreme gods, the great gods, being convened, momentum, she who creates destinies, ordaining destinies with them, they established death and life. They did not reveal the time of death. Upnapishtim says, "You're going to fail. What are you trying to do? Don't bother." That's what everyone tells him. That's what everyone tells him. Every single person in the story tells Gilgamesh not to bother. So, with that, we come to tablet 11, where the confrontation with Gilgamesh and Upnapishtim continues. And we'll read the translator's gloss. Gilgamesh, whose search for Upnapishtim has been characterized by increasing violence, now finds, to his astonishment, that there is no battle to be fought. Heroics will bring him no further. Now he needs knowledge. He asked Upnapishtim, the wisest man who ever lived, his great question: how did he alone escape the universal fate of the human race? To die. So, we will resume with our story on Monday about Gilgamesh and Upnapishtim. We're about halfway through. Pretty good. Good morning, Shelby. What are you up to today? It's nice to see you. We will now conclude our morning ritual with Arati and Kaddish. Arati and Kaddish. Good morning. That sounds like a really nice day. Sounds very relaxing. I'd love to go on a hike with a kid. So the word Arati means flame. Here we have our flame. The word Jai means praise in Sanskrit. This prayer is a repetition and praise of various divine names, starting with Ganesh. Ganesh. Okay. Thanks, Ghost. Jaya Jaya Arati Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jaya Arati Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidurana Vanita Chora Jaya Jaya Arati Venkanta Ramana Venkanta Ramana Sankata Harana Sita Rama Radhe Shama Jaya Jaya Arati Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jaya Arati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Mahashakti Jaya Jaya Arati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jaya Arati Dattatreya Dattatreya Trimutriya Vatara Jaya Jaya Arati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jaya Arati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jaya Arati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jaya Arati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shriyama Priyaye Jaya Jaya Arati Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jaya Arati Jesus Gurave Moses Gurave Buddha Gurave Jaya Jaya Arati Muhammad Gurave Guru Nanak Gurave Samastya Gurubho Namaha Jaya Jaya Arati Venugopala Natatra Suyabati Natandrakaratam Nimavadyobati Kutoyamagni Tomeva Bantamirabanti Sarvantasya Basya Samidam Vivanti Om Gange Kayamane Kaiva Govari Saraswati Narmade Siddhikaveri Hiya Namastitam Namo Namaha Tvameva mata, chapita tameva, Tvameva pandusha saka tameva, Tvameva vidya javinam tameva, Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva, Kayena vacha manasandriyarva, Budyatmanava prakrite sabhavad, Karumyad yad sakalam prasmahe, Narayana iti sarmar payami, Sarvadharmam pravichaya mamekam savarnam vaja, Aham sva sarva papayo mokshayami masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these, I dedicate to you. To you. Thanks for the roses, thanks for the fires, thanks for the attention, thanks for the care. Thanks. So, we will conclude now with the Mourner's Kaddish. Mourner's Kaddish. Kaddish for mourning. The word Kaddish means holy. The word holy means set apart, separate. Right? We, hey, thank you as well. You're welcome. We separate this time in the day, right? These few minutes to be somewhere else, right? To shift our minds to something else. And in this final prayer, we grieve, we mourn, we bemoan that which has befallen us. We acknowledge the suffering that is woven into the fabric of our lives. And we see it for what it is, and we say, okay, I see you. It's okay that you're here. It's okay that I'm here too. And we say the words together. For the last 2,500 years, my ancestors have been saying words like these in response to death. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, B'yama divrach yotev yam nichmal chutei b'chayachonov yam echonov chayidikol be'Yisrael, B'agalav izman kariv imru, Amen. Yehi shemei rabba meva'arch le'elam, Almei almaya, Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirman v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dikudesha barechu, Le'elab min kol birchata v'sherata tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran b'yama v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlamar rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yochol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mirmav, Huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yochol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mirmav, Huya aseh shalom aleinu v'yalechol Yisrael v'imru v'imru, Amen. Thanks. I'll be back soon. I'll be back on Monday. I hope you have a lovely weekend. And that you eat good food. And breathe good air. You can check out the link in my bio if you want to join the Discord server. Or if you would like to support this stream through Patreon or with a one-time tip. Have a happy weekend, Suppy. I'll see you again soon. Farewell.